Hey guys, Tim and Adam here, and we want to welcome you back to Flipperflix. You guys know how much Tim loves his foods, and he got to try a new one recently called Three Wishes.
Yup. Breakfast being my favorite meal, I was excited to try this new cereal out. It's high in protein, low in sugar, and grain free.
I thought I saw that Three Wishes is free from wheat, dairy, soy, oats, corn, rice, and peanuts.
That's right. It's plant-based and gluten-free certified, made with modern-day clean ingredients like chickpeas, pea protein, and tapioca.
Well, that sounds like a feat of food science.
One that took 2 years to develop.
Incredible! So what flavor of these Three Wishes did you devour, Tim? I saw they had cocoa, cinnamon, honey, and unsweetened.
I went with cocoa, and it was delicious.
With 70% less sugar and as much as 8 times the protein of their decadent counterparts, there can't be anything like this on the shelf right now.
And there isn't. Three Wishes is now offering our listeners 10% off with the code PODCAST10.
So head to their website at www.threewishescereal.com to learn more.
We hope you enjoy this episode.
Flipperflix, my Flipperflix. Welcome back to Flipperflix. I'm Sam.
Hi, Sam.
Hello,
Hi.
Sam.
Can you state your purpose?
My purpose was the intro. Check, done.
Okay, so her name's Sam. She introed. Who's up next, Tim?
Sure.
State your name and your purpose.
I'm Tim, and apparently my purpose is social media.
That is his goal in life,
That's
is just
like
social
goal
Yeah,
in
media.
life.
he runs
I
all
love
of them.
social media. But yeah, for reals though, we are on this social media, mostly Instagram and Twitter. If you're looking to reach out to us, at Flipperflix is the handle. You'll probably be talking to Sam. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, that's true.
You can also find us on Anchor, Spotify, and Apple, along with other platforms for listening to the actual content that is our podcast. There's a lot of them, and I learned that there's some that I didn't know exist that no longer exist, but hey, it is what it is. We have a website, flipperflix.wixsite.com/home. You do need the /home, otherwise you won't find it. And
True that.
we post our episodes every Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you're a fanatical fan and you want to listen to it right then and there, that's where you go. That's where you get it. On to you, Adam.
So my name is Adam, and my purpose is to tell you about the movie we watched and why. So I'm going to start with the why. We spun How Did You Miss That?
Yeah.
Yeah. Tim missed this movie. That's why we're watching it. We watched it. We're not watching it right now. We did that yesterday. That's yesterday's news. Yeah. Well, yeah, so we watched Dead Poets Society we watched it on Hulu. Tim, did you see it on Hulu? I think it's also on Amazon.
I watched it on Hulu, yeah.
Okay.
Noise.
So it might be Amazon with commercials, so I don't know.
That warning.
Yeah, heed the warning. But the Dead Poets Society. Ooh, what a movie. It's not like I had the synopsis ready. It was at one point. But anyways, here's the synopsis of this film from 1989. Rated PG. Maverick teacher John Keating uses poetry to embolden his boarding school students to new heights of self-expression. So yeah, that's what the movie's about.
Nice.
And Sam, I don't want to start with you today. I want to start with Tim.
Okay.
Because Tim, had you heard of this movie for your expectation?
No, I had not.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, maybe in passing, but I don't think it doesn't seem like a movie that people ever been like, oh, have you seen that movie before? Or anything like that. But it is one of Rihanna's favorite movies, and I don't even know if she's mentioned it to me before. She might have. She
Wow.
probably would. She's probably listening right now. She's probably going to come storming up here and tell me she has. In which I wouldn't doubt it. I have a sponge for a brain, so I forget things quite frequently. So honestly, I have no idea if anybody's really ever mentioned it to me, and I didn't list or watch any videos or anything like that. I didn't read a synopsis. I just started it as usual with movies. So I don't know. I mean, it got this category. You picked it, and I just assumed it was a good movie, and I was ready for the ride.
Nice.
Yeah, like with the title Dead Poets Society, I'm curious as to what
Yeah,
the hell
there
you
she
thought
is.
you were getting into.
You did hear me, didn't you? Yeah, I figured you did. What? I said you've probably mentioned this movie to me before, but I don't remember it or something along those lines. And, yeah, and I said it was one of your favorites, and I said Yeah, she probably can hear me, and she's gonna come up here and tell me she's mentioned to me before, but I'm gonna act like you didn't. So.
I'm glad she came up though, because we gotta set these things straight sometimes.
I know.
But yeah, Sam, what were your expectations? You saw it. We saw it like what, 5-10 years ago?
Yeah, we saw it a while ago, and I would say I don't know. I guess maybe if you're a Robin Williams fan, it's more like you have to have seen it. It's like part of the trifecta of like Patch Adams and this one and
Good Will Hunting.
Good Will Hunting, yeah.
I feel like those are all around. I don't know why I think they're all around the same time.
And see, I had never seen that either.
Oh.
Yeah. So I think like I don't know if it's that you're a Robin Williams fan or if just like there are people that throw it around as like, you haven't seen that, you gotta see it. And so we ended up watching it a while ago, like years ago. And I was glad you picked this one because I remember liking it a lot, but I remember it being like sad and something really intense happens, but I couldn't remember what the intense thing was. So I think that was kind of nice for like the rewatch. At least I didn't spoil the one crazy part for myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I guess what were your expectations? You picked it.
So I will say that a friend back in 8th grade told me about this movie.
8th grade.
Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember being in junior high. That's why I remember it being 8th grade.
Okay.
8th grade English class, to be exact.
Nice.
And I was like, the hell is that? That sounds so boring. Dead Poets Society? And like, I looked at the picture and I was like, nah, not for me, fam. And then I ended up watching it with Sam years ago. And I remember loving it because I am a Robin Williams fan. And I remember being like, holy shit, he's in this? And he's in this?
Yeah.
What? And then it's really not that many actors in the end. But there were a couple of them I was just so shocked. Because I must say it, like, they actually got people of teenage age, it seemed like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's something they do these days.
Nope.
No, they're like 30 playing like 18-year-olds.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
looking at you, Twilight.
Yeah.
Looking at you like everything on
Yeah.
Nickelodeon.
Yeah.
But I was excited to see Tim's reaction because I knew he was going to go in fully blind.
Yeah.
Because that's just how he does it. And when we were watching it, Sam's like, yeah, I don't remember what the crazy ending. And I was like, really? All right. Because it's depressing as fuck.
Yeah.
But yeah, so those were mine. Those were my expectations. So I guess we can go ahead and dive right in.
Okay.
And where do you want to start, Tim? You want to start where discussing how in public school education that Tim and I had, they did not give us fire as 7-year-olds.
Says
Because
you.
those little 8-year-olds.
Oh, we totally did that. So, yeah, no, we had to do that for certain masses.
See?
Yeah.
Huh.
Tim, I'm
I
assuming you never
understand
did.
why they wouldn't give
I
you guys
know.
fire, but they were like, fuck it, give them fire.
Did you never had to do that too, right? At our school?
Which part?
Like when you're like 7 or 8 years old, do they hand you a candle and be like, here, hold this as we pass,
Oh, no,
pass the flame? Yeah, that's not something we did.
I was known to
in our
set stuff
school.
on fire, so I don't
We
think that would have been a
did.
good idea.
We did take apart fireworks at one point.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
bottle rockets.
Yeah,
and
I
then
did a
light the
lot of stuff
gunpowder.
that I probably shouldn't have. I'm not going to go on with this sentence. No destruction of private or public property, but I had fun with fire. We'll just say that.
Don't worry, my brother's the same way. Because like my parents had like this lantern thing, and my brother's wife was like, "Oh, it's pretty," and he was like, "Oh, it can catch on fire."
Yeah.
So they had a bit of different opinions. Anywho, go ahead.
I was going to say, that wasn't where I was going to start. I was going to start with the fact that poop jokes always land with me, as you guys know.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
So they go through the pillars, right? It was like tradition,
Discipline.
something, excellence.
Yep.
And I don't remember, like, when all the guys move in back to their dorms, I don't remember their pillars that they made up. The only one I remembered was excrement. And I was like,
That was
nice.
I was very happy to see that.
Sounds like, what I was going to say what high schoolers would say, but I was like, what I would still say today.
Oh, you
so.
still
Oh,
would.
absolutely.
I actually am going to be honest. I don't think I would have come up with the word excrement.
No.
I'm not that good with my vocab.
No.
Tim?
Yeah, no, I would have said poop or something.
Right? I don't think I could have gotten to. I don't know what my
E would have been.
E would have been. So good on them for thinking of excrement.
Yeah. Look at
Right?
them.
Although it also was written by adults, so there's
That's
that.
true.
True.
That is true. Adults
Way to
did
ruin
think of it. Damn it, Tim. I lost my immersion. I mean, I will say they had a study group day one
Yeah.
of going to school. And I'm like, day one of going to school, you're studying? What do you have to study for? And then you find out it's just them hanging out in a
Yeah.
common area.
Yeah.
But when they were first asking Todd, hey, you want to come with us? And Todd's just like, no. But
Typical Todd.
typical Todd. That's a good way to say it, Sam.
Is that Josh Brolin, by the way?
No.
No? He
No.
looks like Josh Brolin.
I thought he
whole
looked like
time.
Matt Dillon.
Yeah.
I thought he looked like Matt Dillon because I was like, this guy's in Wayward Pines. And then he is not.
Yeah, he does look like him too, yeah.
It's the eyes.
Yeah, I guess like the upper half of the face probably.
Just part of him, but not all of him.
Right, yeah. I don't know, it's weird.
We'll have to do a side-by-side comparison of all three.
Yeah, we'll just put them all up and be like, which one do you think was actually in this film?
If I can find baby pictures of both of those people.
Good luck.
Yeah.
May the odds be ever in your favor. We have them going to school and whatnot, and they finally go. They do like a montage scene of all their boring classes. Of like chemistry and then Latin. And then Sam's like, why are they talking about trigonometry in Latin class? Because she had like looked down to write a note.
Yeah, I was very confused because I'm like, I knew we were in Latin class because I was one of those idiots that took Latin. And then all of a sudden we were in trig, and I was like, oh, okay.
I mean, it just seems like it bounced around a lot very rapidly at times.
Yeah.
After all of those boring classes, they get to English class because that's the class you're all looking forward to as a teenage boy.
Definitely.
And then poetry.
Speaking as a teenage boy, I can agree.
You lived through the trials. Tim, I know your favorite class was English.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I didn't mind English class.
I hated English class.
I didn't mind English.
With a passion.
There was kind of a nice formula to it, like you read a book, you wrote a book report, essay bullshit, and the essay had to have a certain formula for it. Like, it was predictable. I kind of liked that.
Yeah.
No, it's
Sure.
stupid, and
Yeah.
I hated it. I guess I probably would have done better in a creative writing class rather than, here, read this book, it's about death. Read this other book, it's about death. Read this third book, it's also about death.
See, I kind of had a class like that. In high school, we had like the mystery class.
Yeah, we got to choose that.
Yeah, and that was kind of how that was, and I liked it. A lot of embarrassing moments in that class, but yeah.
Oh, really?
I mean, just in general, because you have to like make shit up all the time, and it was kind of like
Yeah.
this movie. The teacher was very, I don't know, she was cool.
Mr. Keating.
Yeah.
Oh,
sort
you mean
of.
our English teacher? Yeah. I
Well,
straight up
it
signed
depends
up
on who it was. They weren't all the same.
When you were a senior, because Tim's a year older than me,
hmm
there was only one mystery teacher. So I signed up for mystery to be in her class.
Yeah.
And then my senior year, they added a second one.
Oh, okay.
And my second teacher was obsessed with It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Oh, really?
So, yeah. I wrote a mystery short story about the gang gets not kidnapped. I think it might have been kidnapped. No, the gang solves a mystery. I wrote like an It's Always Sunny like short story about how like Charlie got kidnapped by the McPoyles and tied down on railroad tracks.
Nice.
Yeah. They went like Scooby-Doo mystery.
Nice.
But
Well, your English class was way more exciting than mine. And you guys still didn't like it. I don't understand.
this was only senior year though.
You had to get through all the sludge of like Frankenstein.
No.
You didn't read Frankenstein?
We read like TCAM.
I don't.
Uh,
Oh,
To
we
Kill a
didn't read
Mockingbird.
that.
Yeah. Oh, we were.
Lord of the Flies.
We
Did
didn't
love
read
that
that
book.
either. See, we just had good books, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe.
Sure, if that's a real thing.
But they did this. Apparently, their class is all about poetry. That's new.
I mean, it's like your mystery elective, I guess, technically. So there you go. Like
That's
Kim was
true.
saying.
Yeah.
That's true. And I was a little disappointed. He right away killed all of the mathematics in poetry.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, graphs, nice. Kid's got a ruler out. Who the fuck brings a ruler to English class? I don't know.
It worked though,
Yeah.
because then he like traced the lines for the whole.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like
So
a
it's
perfect
like-
little
yeah.
graph.
It was confusing because I was trying to figure out how their school worked here in this movie. Because did they change classes between them, or did a different teacher come in and out of their class?
So I got the vibe that they changed classes because you saw them all on the stairs.
Right.
Right. I thought that might have been at the very beginning, going to
But
first class.
yeah, I think you're kind of right because towards the end when he opens up, what's the main dude's name?
Neil.
Neil's desk. It had Neil's stuff in it.
Yeah, like-
So
Right.
Who else would use that desk?
yeah, so are they just like spreading their stuff out between classrooms and they have assigned seats everywhere, or I don't
That would
know.
make no sense.
That was very confusing.
Because, like, at the end of a period, when they do, like, the standing on the table,
Mm-hmm.
they have Mr. Keating leaving
Yeah.
the classroom instead of the kids leaving the classroom.
Yeah.
So,
So we're gonna go with that they
the teachers rotate.
teachers rotated out.
Which,
That's how my grade school was.
oh. No, they made the students in our school ever
Well,
change.
We were allowed to walk around when we were old enough to do it correctly, so that was like 4th grade. But like 1st through 3rd grade, the teachers came in and out of the classroom.
Oh, we only had one. I only had one.
I don't remember that ever happening. I remember
guys were
always
easily
walking
trusted.
around or being like guided around to the next classroom. I swear, I don't remember ever having teachers change.
Yeah, that's not something I had either, so.
I always thought it was funny that
Stupid
they had
private
like
school kids.
a rolling cart of all their shit. Like,
Yeah.
here's my shit to your class.
Well, because we had to, like, I had to lug, like, 6 textbooks sometimes, because there would be times I couldn't make it to my locker.
Oh yeah, and you get
Oh,
the
yeah.
5 minutes, and they're like, "All right, you have plenty of time to go across the entire school, grab your shit, come back." What?
Yeah, and we didn't have a small school.
That and like, I don't know, one of my schools. Which one? Let's see. I'm trying to remember the name. I don't think
Was
it
it Milford, Maine?
No, I think it was my elementary school actually. No, that doesn't make sense. No, it was the
Junior high?
The junior high, yeah. The hallways were so small that
They were.
you go one way. Like you have to
Yeah.
loop.
Oh,
Like there was no way to go because you wouldn't.
no.
It was like 2 one-way lanes. So like
It was bad.
you couldn't if you missed your locker or something and you weren't coming back. You had to go back around.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
This is what happens when you shove so many students in one school.
Yeah, you
That's
literally were
horrible.
just in a funnel. It was crazy. And you get to class. I don't have my books. Why? What the flow of traffic? I don't. Like, what do you mean? Why?
I'm
It's
just,
in my locker.
Yeah.
I'm just imagining poor young little Tim getting swept away.
Young
by
little
everybody.
Tim.
That
Young
was
little
my
Tim.
locker.
The guy was 6 foot in 8th grade.
Yeah,
he was
that's
fine.
very
You had to
true,
feel
yeah.
bad for the less than 5 foot Adam.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I stopped growing at that point, but
Yeah, Tim hit 6 foot and he's like,
and just
I'm
stopped.
done.
But doctors and everything were like, "Damn, he's gonna be 8 foot tall." Joke's on you. Not.
Stunted my growth. Don't know how.
All that coffee I was drinking.
Oh, my.
Oh yeah.
All right, I want to get into some of the characters you got.
Well,
Sure.
Oh,
hold on. Can we touch on that first scene since we kind of already did?
which one?
He took the mathematics out of poetry.
Oh, yes.
I just loved that he made them rip out the intros,
Oh,
and then
yes.
later
Great.
on in the movie, like
Please
at the
turn
end,
to the first page.
when he asks
Yeah.
him to like read the intro, and he's like, "Oh, I can't," like, and then he like asks somebody else, and it's like, "Nah, like they're gone,
yeah.
dude."
By the way, I love how you can see Robin Williams like smirking in the background too about it.
Yeah.
He loves it.
He's like dying
You
from
know?
laughter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was going to say, like, at the very beginning, one of my favorite characters' name is Mr. Pitts. Or just Pitts is what they all
Pitts,
call him.
yeah.
Pitts.
What an unfortunate name.
That was great when he said that.
And then I was like, Brad Pitt?
Yeah, but it's not pizza.
I know, I was
but
going to say, like,
Yeah.
Pitts is just so much worse.
I think so too.
But can I talk about the other people?
Yeah.
You have Neil, you got Todd, you got Knox, Charlie Dalton. He went by both. Or Nawade.
Nawanda. Yeah.
Nawanda. Then you got Richard Cameron, the prick. The Fink.
Hmm.
Gerard.
You got it.
Oh my
Gerard
Got it.
Pitts and Stephen Meeks. I wanted to call him Minks. I thought his last name was Mink. Like a mink coat. It's Meek.
Meek.
Yeah.
Like the meek will inherit the earth.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know that now, but like when I first heard it, I was like, Minks. And you know, the guy was like, well, I'll try anything once. when they first were going to the Dead Poets Society.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, nice, bud. Good for you.
Look at him.
Yeah.
Look at you and your nerdiness. Yeah, we just all keep him around just to tutor us. I was like,
Aw.
poor fella.
Poor fella indeed.
But so when you finally found out what the Dead Poets Society was, Tim, you're just like, oh, that's what it is.
I kind of got the idea of it before but yeah, when it was like, yeah, that makes sense. I don't know.
I know. I didn't have anything like that in our school. We had no caves
No.
to go run off to.
Yeah. Well, that's a perk of boarding school, I guess.
Right,
know.
yeah.
Which I meant to comment on this earlier. All those little 7 and 8-year-olds at the beginning, they were bawling when their parents were dropping them off at boarding school. And what a way to not have to what a way to have kids and not actually have to raise them.
Yeah.
Right? And then get mad at them constantly that they're not doing what you say and the stuff that they should be doing. And, it's your life, not theirs. And I don't know where I'm going with that. Red's a dick. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, I know. I know what you were saying. Fucking Neil, this guy just gets reprimanded for, trying to go to school, get straight A's, and do a little bit of his own thing on the side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I guess I just didn't get it. That was maybe one of the parts of the movie that seemed a little far-fetched to me. Is that, who gives a shit if your kid wants to, be in a play?
Right.
It was in 1959, though.
Okay.
So, I'm guessing the mentality is a little different than 2021.
Yeah, I know. That's why I was, trying to, bring it back and be
So I guess it'd be
I guess technically if, they want him to be, a doctor or a lawyer, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Or, something like that.
They wanted him to go to an Ivy League.
Distract him. But, I also wonder if at some point, that did kind of switch to, I feel like when we were in high school, it was all how you needed to be well-rounded and have extracurriculars. Yep. Maybe that wasn't always the case, and so it was more of a distraction. But, I don't know. That was the only part to me that seemed far-fetched. Let your kid be in a stinking play, dick.
Right, yeah. I don't get that. But then again, I don't know. My parents were never kind of don't do
You need
that.
to follow these strict rules.
Yeah.
No, neither were mine. I mean, yeah, they just weren't. But sorry, I had a note down and I meant to bring it up. When they were pulling out all those papers, Dawn just eats his when the other teacher walks in. He's chewing on, and I was like, what a dude. He was like, I don't give a fuck. Expel me, I dare you.
Yeah. I mean, he's one of my favorites. He's really funny throughout, a lot of the movie. But the first class, I think it was even before the intro, is the first class where they're in the trophy room.
First or second.
Yeah. One of the beginning classes that you see Robin Williams teaching, they're in the trophy room. And, it just keeps panning to, what Robin Williams is saying and then back to Dalton. And he's just giving him, this big-ass side-eye the entire time, in the back of the classroom. And so, I don't know, he cracked me up, especially when he was like, I go by Nawanda now. He's just
I wasn't
so
a fan
silly.
of when he brought the girls there, because, it was supposed to be their little society. I wasn't. That was the one thing that bothered me about him.
Really? I was okay with it.
I don't know. It looked I don't know. I was probably on.
I get what you're saying. But it seems like a thing that wouldn't happen every time. They bring them there to impress them every once in a while, and then they leave them, and then they go back and do their weird thing. But
Who knows what?
Yeah,
I know. I just was you get some of them just looked so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But I mean, you're 15-year-olds. I mean, I remember that time talking to girls was a whole thing,
Mm-hmm.
No, it's probably not to everybody, but. But to a bunch of guys that aren't comfortable talking to girls their age due to the fact that, they're in boarding school, I'm sure that they were like,
what do I do with my hands?
Yeah.
I mean, shit, Knox about, he sees one girl and it's like, nope, I'm in love.
Yeah.
This is the best girl ever. No other girl's as good as hers.
That was amazing. Such dedication.
And he arrives in a hearse?
Oh, to be young and in love. Or whatever they would say as poets.
Tell me why they swoon. That's one of my favorite little quotes from it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, and when they were first in the cave, Charlie Dalton, whatever you want to call him, Nawade,
Mm-hmm.
I can't actually say. What is his name?
Nawanda.
Nawanda pulls out a booby picture.
Yeah.
I love that though.
No, I loved it, but I was like, this movie's rated PG.
Oh,
Yeah.
true. Interesting.
But Earth Girls Are Easy was the same way.
Right.
That's true. Yeah.
Both
Different ratings.
Yeah, I know. Ratings were a little bit easier before the 90s, you know?
Yeah, but that was totally high school. Like, here's a porn thing, and I'm gonna
Oh,
write
it's totally,
a poem
yeah.
Right,
about
yeah,
it that's, like,
he's smirking
ridiculous.
the whole time.
Yes.
No, I loved that scene. That was great.
And they, like, took Meeks' jacket during that scene and threw all their food in it.
Oh,
Wait,
yeah.
who brought half a roll?
Yeah.
That
Oh,
would
that's
have been
mine.
me.
I'll take it
That
back.
would have been me. You mean I gotta bring food? I eat
I
food.
I'm already halfway through this roll.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll push it and nobody will notice.
I'll trade you half this roll for 4 cookies. All right, that'll do.
Deal.
Yeah. And they're, like, in these, like, cult outfits, even though that's just what they're, like, boarding school.
Right,
robe was,
yeah. They were just a little far-fetched in my opinion, but
I know. You just see these little triangle heads, like, walking through the forest. And
Yeah.
I'm like, where's this movie going, guys?
right.
Well, and I will say, like, this is another, like, little beef I have about this movie. It's not very big. But the music is, like, totally 80s ridiculousness.
Oh, yeah.
It is.
Especially that scene when they first go to the cave.
Yeah, when they're like running through the woods and like
Yeah.
the music, yeah,
It's
for
so
sure. It's
bad.
like oh
Didn't
god.
even notice it.
Oh, it's like, wow.
Yeah.
Like, I don't
You
even
just
know.
hear, like, the electric guitar.
Exactly
Yeah.
what you think it is. It's just
It's
oh,
rough.
Shoot.
But the rest of the movie, it didn't bother me. Just that one scene.
What's that thing? I never noticed it. I was just fully immersed.
Yeah, you were like, I'm here for it.
This is my movie. I'm the one who picked it. I have to be here for it.
yeah, yeah.
Did you guys think that that Robin Williams was just practicing, for Aladdin and all his genie impressions?
No.
Because he was
No.
able to do, like, he was just doing all the, like,
I
poetry and
think that
different
has
expressions.
that's purely intentional in the writing aspect of taking advantage of Robin Williams because he was known for being able to do that stuff.
Yeah.
So I think
He's
that was
so
completely
goofy.
just taking advantage of Robin Williams' ability to impersonate. Yeah,
And it was so good. I think the John Wayne one was my favorite.
his John Wayne
yes.
was fantastic. Yeah,
Just a John
That
Wayne,
one
poetry in John
felt-
Wayne's voice.
yeah, that one felt forced compared to the other two for like a.
Mhm.
But I think it was definitely
I
good.
think it
It
was
just felt a little
intentional.
forced for the scene.
Yeah.
But the
Yeah.
other two felt more natural into the poetic aspect of the movie, I guess.
Yeah. I loved it.
Yeah.
I was there
Oh,
for
it was
it.
great. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Well, and I think they have some, like, he has some good quotes. Part of them are borrowed from poetry, and then part of them are just, like, little quips.
Right.
Like, when they first found out that he was, like, head of the Dead Poet Society, they, like, found his yearbook. He, like, tells him, he's like, burn that, especially my picture.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Well, he's like, thank you
Obviously.
for that
Yeah.
trip down Amnesia Lane. Like,
Yeah, I
exactly,
know.
yeah.
I was like, that's a Tim line right there.
That's fantastic.
Trip down Amnesia
yeah.
Lane.
I loved it. It was so good.
My favorite line, one of my favorite lines he did was, "We're not laughing at you. We're laughing near you."
Near
Oh,
you,
yeah, I
yeah.
like that one, too.
There's a lot of good lines in this movie. I can definitely see why it's a popular movie.
Yeah. And I don't know, just the camaraderie of all the kids.
Mhm.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
I felt it.
Mhm.
Part of
Yeah.
the director actually threw them all, like, they all had to stay, like, in a dormitory together.
Mhm.
Oh,
To,
nice.
like, build, like, camaraderie
Yeah.
and whatnot. And they actually they filmed this chronologically.
Oh, okay.
So,
That's
like,
nice.
you can, yeah. And so, like, you're seeing them actually, like, develop friendships and whatnot. And, like, the respect for Mr. Keating just was supposed to be displayed, like, not just like, oh, we know future, he's going to do this. So
Right.
Yeah.
I thought it was
I
really
wonder
cool.
if they had them stay with their roommates then in the dorms.
That would be
then.
smart.
Yeah. I feel like they would.
I'm going to
have,
say
but-
it. Neil was a really good friend to all of them,
Oh, yeah.
but a really good roommate to Todd.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
absolutely.
Like, I want Neil as my roommate.
Yeah.
Sorry, Sam, you're out.
Oh,
no.
no.
No, but, like, in college, like, it would have been, like, he would have been, like, the ideal, like, oh, well, let me go ask him and see if that's okay if you don't read.
Right.
This is fine. Like, I want you to come so badly
Mm.
that I'm going to try and see if I can bend the rules.
Right.
Yeah, I thought that was nice. And then when he gets the repeat desk set, oh, I love that scene.
Yeah.
Where he's like, like, if I were to buy a
Aerodynamic.
desk, if I were to buy a desk set twice, it would be this one.
It'd be this
And
one.
then, like, why don't you like the first desk set to fly? Oh, I just loved that. It was so good.
Well, then he was just like, and don't worry, you're going to get it again next year.
Yeah.
I
know.
know.
It's fantastic.
He just turned like such a horrible experience into something amazing.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Oh,
He's a good friend. For
Yeah.
he was definitely. They all were like good friends to each other.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Except for the
Except
one.
for that fucking Cameron guy.
Yeah. There's
What a
always the
fink.
one. What a fink.
Yeah.
The fuck is a fink?
You
Somebody
saw
that
it.
clothes on.
Yeah.
Well, I by context I picked it up, but have you guys heard that term before?
No.
Yeah.
All right, Miss Classy Girl. What is the Merriam-Webster definition?
Oh, what?
Fair.
No, this is like a slang term.
It's like a tattletale.
Yeah.
Obviously.
I know.
Somebody that thinks on him.
What's funny is I was like, is that like, I thought his first name was Cameron. And they were like, he's such a fink. Like, a fink is a bad thing. Like, as in, they made the term up because of him. Like, his last name is like, his name was Cameron Fink.
Oh, I could see that. I think it's actually, I have no idea. But if I were to hazard a guess, I feel like it's like an 80s term.
Yeah,
Like, I feel like it's
could
not
see
something that you really hear.
Or like
very
something
much.
from the 50s.
I was gonna say
like-
maybe it's 50s term, yeah. But
Yeah, like it's an older term and it kind of like died off before it got to us. We call people narcs instead. I don't know where that came
Yeah.
in.
Yeah, that's true.
Like they swapped each other out
They did.
at some point.
But yeah,
21 Jump Street.
Richard Cameron is his full name.
Oh, well,
Not-
there you go.
Yeah. They didn't call him Dick,
They
though.
could have just called him a dick the whole time.
I know.
Maybe they wouldn't have been able to keep their PG rating then.
Well, it's his name.
yeah.
As long as they're not referring to the actual body part, it's fine.
Okay.
We learned that, Sam,
Yeah.
on the swearing
The
show.
History of Curse Words
Yeah, that show.
with Nick Cage. Little plug for that. That's great.
Yeah. But do we think that Mr. Keating had any other classes? Like, it seemed like he only taught that one
Them,
class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was confused by that because the one class, he has them kicking a soccer ball and then they're like reading a phrase. So that kind of still read as like his crazy poetry
Right.
class,
But at the
right?
same time,
But then a later scene, they're full on playing sports.
sports ball, yeah.
So I'm like, is he a coach? Is he also the gym teacher? Does he have other things that he does with them? Like, is he their homeroom teacher? Because I definitely don't think he was.
I think it was just
No.
supposed to show his
kinda seemed
different
like that.
teaching style. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it was just supposed to showcase that he's way out there compared to the other teachers.
Yeah.
And the one teacher that like got after him at first ended up being like,
He liked him, yeah.
I know, I loved that. Like, he grew on him. Like,
Like even when Keating gets kicked out, he's like, "Yo, you're good, dude," kind of thing.
Yeah.
so, like you could see it in his eyes. Like, they were being
Yeah.
meerkats.
Yeah,
Definitely.
for sure.
But I mean, they had that poetry off at the beginning, and I was like, I would lose this instantly. I can't recite a single poem by heart. Sam, what was the Walt Whitman quote? Yeah, they used a Walt Whitman quote, and Sam's like, I loved that quote.
Oh my god, I did love that quote until fucking Apple made a commercial. Fuck Apple. With the quote. Because, you know, Apple always has to be elitist and, like, pull on your heartstrings with their bullshit commercial about their iPad. And so, this was a couple years ago that they used the quote that the powerful play will go on and you may contribute a verse. They just kept repeating it in their commercial. And I was like,
Right.
God damn it, Apple.
Do was my quote.
This is not my first Apple rant, but I just... it still pisses me off.
I told her she had to write
Because-
that down, by the way.
Yeah, because I actually do like Walt Whitman. Like, I have
You
the
do?
Right.
grass. Yeah.
I will never
so-
pick that up and read it. Well,
Yeah. Well, it's kind of...
it's like a less than 1% chance.
Yeah, it's kind of out there. Like, and that's the only poetry book. I did used to have poetry by Anne Sexton. She was all right, but she got a little too, like... because poetry can be like that.
Yeah, I had to read Thoreau a bunch.
But, I mean, did you guys read Where the Sidewalk Ends? Like,
I
that's
mean, as a
poetry.
kid, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was like kid poetry. We're
Well,
talking
yeah.
like Walt Whitman.
You want
Thoreau.
some deep shit?
Yeah, I need. Yeah.
Yeah. I think Leave the Grass is good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, I don't even remember what we were talking about. Just that you wouldn't poetry off. I mean, I have Leaves of Grass, and I don't really think that I could poetry off either, so.
Yeah.
You would win with one verse, though.
Just one.
Yeah, you would just be able to
I can't
drop
get past
one
the
verse.
other one.
Yeah, I know.
Actually, that's not true. I could do some Shel Silverstein from Where the Sidewalk Ends.
Yeah, I can't.
I used to say it in whenever I don't want to go to work. Because there's one about Peggy who doesn't want to go to school. She's like, I cannot go to school today. I have the measles. I have the mumps. And she goes through a whole list of excuses. And like some days I get up and I recite the whole poem.
Is
so yeah,
Dr.
I can
Seuss
poetry.
I would say
kind of.
yes.
Yeah.
I would say yes as well. Just due to, I mean, there's rhyme, there's meter.
Yeah.
On the graph of poetry,
Oh, yes.
I say it's top right. It's
You think
high
that
quality
Yeah.
and well done.
Yeah, I agree. In that case, he has a nice... The area of the graph that he takes up is very large.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
should have been a scatter plot, but what's a business analyst to say?
I was very confused why it was a bar graph.
I'm not poo-pooing on, an English teacher's graphs.
Well, they were calculating area, though, which
Yeah.
is shaded, right?
Scatter plot would have been better.
Okay.
As
You
Sure,
can't poetry
sure.
off, but you
I
can
can-
graph good.
I graph good. My boss told me I graph good.
I don't understand graphs. I'm gonna be honest.
Me too.
I can
Graph.
read them.
I like pie charts. Easy.
Donut charts are better
Okay, whatever.
for two reasons. Donuts,
Mm-hmm.
and it's actually better for, anyways, it is better. But anyways, continue.
Well, speaking of donuts, there's a chonky dog, or there's gonna be a chonky dog.
Oh, yes.
After they sneak out the first time and they give him like 10 treats so that the dog doesn't bark. I'm like, damn, if you guys break out a lot, that dog's gonna be like rolling himself down the steps. Crazy.
Were they getting out in the middle of the day? Like, were they getting out in the middle of, like, not the night always? Because one of the nights it seemed like it was kind of light out still.
Yeah, I agree. I thought that one of the, maybe like the weekend,
Maybe the weekend.
because there was like a daylight scene, but I guess it technically could have been summer-ish where there's more light at a darker period of time.
I liked how the story was actually more focused on the kids
Mm-hmm.
than Mr. Keating. Personally, I did. Like, typically, like, you got a character like Knox. He would go off scene. And unless you're doing, like, a whole TV series, you're not going to see much of what he's doing off screen because he's a secondary character.
Mm-hmm.
But I liked how they showed him at the party being like, dude, this is Moot's brother. And you're like, that's not me. To Moot! And they're, like, drinking moonshine and stuff.
Yeah, and he's like, fuck it, to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then one of those guys is the one that ends up recognizing him. They're like, it's Moot's brother. He's macking on your girl or whatever.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so that was his
He
downfall.
was
Maybe
just
he should
kinda
have skedaddled.
weird. I don't know. A lot of his early interactions with her were very like, oh, dude, what are you doing?
Awkward, yeah.
Yeah.
I will agree with that. But I think that was the whole fact that, like, you don't see a girl ever. You live with all boys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Could
Who
be.
knows? He ends up... it's implied that he wins the girl in the end, though.
Yeah, so good for him.
Good
Redemption
for him.
story.
What'd you think of the play, though?
I thought it was good. I like A Midsummer Night's Dream.
It was actingception.
It
Yeah.
was.
Yeah, like you're acting in a movie to
Mhm.
act. You're acting
Acting to act. To act.
to act to not be. And then they do like a really cool cinematographical scene that I noticed the second time
Ooh.
viewing. I told
Ooh.
you. Like, so, Tim, do you know anything about Midsummer Night's Dream?
No.
Okay. Clear. Well, his character, Puck or Buck, I can never remember. Sam?
Puck.
He's a shadow. Like, the whole thing is the shadows are watching, like, stories play out, right?
Oh, I
Right.
thought he was like a nymph or something.
No,
but
he's
yeah.
he calls himself
Same
a shadow.
thing.
They're like, yeah, we're shadows in the forest.
Okay.
And then at
Okay.
the end, at one point when he's in his room, when he sets down his crown,
Mm-hmm.
all you see is his shadow behind the crown. You don't actually see him. He's off screen.
Mm-hmm.
But they do some cool lighting where they just show his shadow. And I was like, nice. That was cool. Good job.
You're like, he's a shadow of a character.
Yes.
Well, before we get to that scene, why is the punishment always military school?
Every time.
It's like the old school like go-to for these movies and
Yeah.
stuff. Like,
I know.
I've never heard of someone, at least growing up, I don't think that their parents were like, "You're going to military school." I don't think
Right?
I've ever actually heard of it outside
I
of
didn't-
movies. I don't
I
know.
Is it
know.
still a thing? Hit us up on Twitter and Instagram if it is, because I'm actually curious.
Yeah, I just feel like it's the go-to punishment, and especially in this case where it makes no sense of like, oh, you did a play, if you don't get your act together,
Nice.
thanks, you're gonna go to military school. And it's like, but what? Why? He's already going to boarding school.
Right,
Like,
he's already
usually
in
it's like,
boarding school. Like,
yeah, like
Yeah,
there's
sometimes
military
boarding school is the
punishment, but you're already in boarding school. Like, I don't know. I find that very odd. It's one of those things that like came and went. Like,
Okay, I got more beef. This is my one big beef with the movie.
oh,
Neil is talking about how we're not rich like Charlie's family. We can't just like afford the school. That's why I can't act.
oh,
Their house is fucking massive.
yeah.
If you
his
can't
house
afford-
looks
Yeah.
nice.
if you can't afford it, don't send your kid to boarding school.
right.
Like
Yeah.
public school is a thing.
Well, and then he's putting it on the kid to like, he's like, I gave up a lot of stuff for this. It's like, dude, the kid didn't
No, you
ask you to
didn't.
do that. Like,
Exactly.
Yeah, like it's so stupid. Like I would say my biggest annoyance is Red Foreman,
yeah.
like Tim said.
Yeah. I think so too.
And I think you said that too, Sam. Sorry.
Yeah, I think it's just it works for the story, but
It does. It's a plot device. It is.
Right.
He is a plot device.
yeah, basically.
We're super professional here on Flipper Flicks. Plot devices, cinematography. It's about as good as you're going to get with us.
Oh yeah. Music, we talked about the music. So here's the big scene that I forgot happened.
Oh!
I was wrecked all over again. Tim, how
Yeah.
are you?
How'd you do with
So
that
it
scene?
went from like, I knew something bad was going to happen when he's having the conversation. Keaton's like, just, you've never told your dad that kind of thing. And then he's like, you don't care. What about my feelings sort of situation? And then he says nothing. And I'm like, oh
Yeah.
shit, something's not right. and
Yeah.
then all the music starts and he sees like the crowd of thorns. He opens the window and I'm like, oh no. Then the gun.
This kid's jumping.
And I was
then
like,
he doesn't jump.
well, he grabs it. Yeah, at first I thought he was gonna like hang himself, and then he grabs the gun, and I'm like, oh fuck! I thought he was gonna kill his dad, and then like kill himself,
Oh.
but
Well, yeah, they kind of
Yeah.
like did the scene like that, like because they kept
it definitely
going to
seemed
the
with
dad.
his dad, and like the knife is laying there, and you're like, what the fuck? Yeah.
I know, like you got this like mostly happy movie going on, and then
Yeah.
whoosh, my son is dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My son.
Yeah. And then I feel like he tells. Oh no, he doesn't tell her to shut up. But the wife says something
Sam hated the wife.
because she
was worthless.
She's
She
a
was
pushover.
worthless, and they wrote her terrible. And I feel like she did something, and I was gonna say that he told her to shut up, but I'm pretty sure he was like.
He was like,
He
shh,
wasn't
no,
that
it's
aggressive,
yeah.
but-
It was like, shh, no, it's too late or something like that, and she's
Yeah.
she's trying to like grab him or whatever, and yeah.
Yeah,
That's a rough
terrible.
scene.
Yeah.
That's a rough scene.
It was, and then the fact that Cameron Finks on him. I was like,
Yeah.
you have to. If a teacher asks you a question, you have to answer it.
Yeah, and they're basically blaming it on Mr. Keaton, and I was like, but like he's the easy scapegoat.
Right.
He was the scapegoat,
It's terrible.
especially because it was not Mr. Keating's fault.
I know, it's terrible.
Of course it wasn't.
That's
yeah.
what. It was definitely the dad's fault.
Well, but the
Yeah.
dad, they said something like, per the request of the family, there's going to be a thorough investigation.
Right.
Yeah, it's
Because he
like
couldn't
on
accept
yourself.
his responsibility. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why don't you investigate yourself? Check yourself before you wreck yourself, fool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was said in 1959.
I'm sure it was.
Some form of it.
So yeah, but then, shoot, what happened? Oh yeah. Also, Charlie punches him. Whoa, time out. We just strolled right past the paddling.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
the weird, like, I was like, he's not actually going to spank him. Oh, no, yeah. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
spanking him. Yep.
That was weird.
Yeah.
Well, but I think,
That was more normal then.
yeah, because I was like, I feel like my parents told me that, like, that happened.
Hands would get smacked with rulers.
Yeah.
Which is silly because how are you supposed to write if you have? Anyways, that's
Yeah. So I think, like, in the 80s, that like, was their childhood-ish, or it wasn't as
You mean
like
the 50s?
taboo as it is
The
now.
50s?
Yeah. Wasn't this movie filmed in the 80s?
Filmed in the 80s, set in
But,
the 50s.
Yeah. So yeah. Sorry.
It's all good.
Yeah.
Jeez. Not that it didn't happen in the 80s. I have no idea.
Yeah.
I was not alive.
I was
yet.
born when this movie was made, so.
I know. But yeah, and then Mr. Keating comes and it's just like, now it would have been really great if you said the call was like, his Charlie does like a joke. It's a call from you from God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Mr. Keating's like, well, it would have worked great, if you said it was collect.
I thought that was awesome.
Which
Yeah.
kids, a collect call is where you say that the person you're calling is going to pay for the call.
Yeah.
Rather than you paying for it when you call them.
Isn't there also something with like, does that go hand in hand with long distance calling? How
Yes.
you used to pay for that?
Yeah,
Do we still pay for that?
No.
Okay. I can't keep track of all the phone
You
nuances
can call
that have happened
California
over
all
the
you
year.
want.
Yeah, but long distance calling I feel like was a thing back when they limited our text messages,
Yep.
For sure.
But yeah, now it's not, guys.
Like, remember when you had to call after like 8 p.m. or something because it was free on
Yeah, 8 p.m.
your
or I
plan?
thought it was 9 p.m.
Something like
Depending
that.
on the plan, probably.
Yeah.
But
Collect calls.
never had to do one.
No.
So. Then the most tragic scene in probably one of the it's not tragic, but I got even more feels from it when they all get up on their
Of course,
desks at the
yeah.
end.
No.
Oh,
So
Captain, my Captain!
It's a loaded scene,
Yeah.
intentionally.
Oh
I mean,
my
yeah.
god.
Oh, I know.
Weeping.
Oh, she's like, woo!
And then he's like, "Thank you, boys." Oh
Thank
my
you, boys.
gosh. I mean, I feel like this whole movie is like, it gets you in the feels
Mhm.
like all the way.
It's like
But then that scene.
it's like if you like think somebody pulling back a bow,
Mm-hmm.
like you got that tension going, and then when Neil dies, you release it and it snaps forward, but then you get that second snap sometimes.
Yeah.
And that's what it is.
Yeah.
Thank you, boys.
Gosh.
You tearing up now?
I'm just thinking about like all the feels this movie gives you. It's like, it's just one of those movies that it's hard to watch passively. Like,
Yeah.
you're in it.
Yeah.
But I was gonna say the reason why I brought it up earlier, that does Mr. Keating have any other classes, is because they're making it seem like he only has this one English class.
That's true.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Like, if this one English class is the only one that is quote unquote acting out, wouldn't you assume if he has 6 other ones,
They're also acting out.
are
Right.
they also all acting
Yeah.
out, or are they
Is it
all
just this pot of boys?
like, yeah, it's
Strike it
like
up to budget and filming. I mean, it's like you're not gonna
Yeah, I
you're not gonna
know.
have and like characters and engagement in a movie and stuff. I don't know.
I know, like you guys said, it's just a scapegoat.
Right.
Them picking him.
Mhm.
Boo.
Yeah. Well, but doesn't Nawanda not sign the pledge?
Yeah, because he
Or-
got expelled.
Yeah.
He didn't
Oh.
have to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I figured he didn't, and that's why he got expelled.
Yeah. So Robin Williams, when he did like the acting for this film,
Mhm.
he said that he tried to act the way he wished like he had a teacher like. Like he
Yeah.
wanted a teacher like that in high school.
Right. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and this was at one point like his favorite film he ever did.
Oh,
So
nice.
I feel like actors always say that though. I can't say. I've read that like dozens of times. Well, this one was their favorite film.
I think the only person that's like bashed a film they've been in that I can recall.
Robert Pattinson in
Oh,
Twilight.
I was gonna say James Corden and Cats. I'm like,
Oh, he did hate on Cats a lot. But Robert Pattinson did shit
Hated
on Twilight.
What's
a
her face
lot.
hated Catwoman.
Oh, there you go.
She did her Razzie
Which one?
speech and she's like, "Thank you for putting me in this shitty fucking movie and stuff like that."
Halle
Like,
Berry.
Yeah, Halle Berry.
See, so it happens sometimes.
Yeah.
Sandra Bullock went to the Razzies, accepted that, and then like a week later won an Oscar for Best Actress.
Yeah.
It was for All About Steve, which that movie is garbage.
Go
Garbage
figure.
movie.
I know, right? It was all about Bradley Cooper. But I have no more notes. Sam?
I'm out.
Tim?
Oh, Captain, my Captain. Let's see here.
Tim's just beatboxing.
Nope.
Okay.
All done.
I'll get to the cast then. Mr. Keating is played by none other than Robin Williams, who plays the genie in Aladdin. He's Mrs. Doubtfire, Jumanji, Hook, which, have you seen Hook, Tim?
I think so.
Okay, Sam's never seen it. That's why I'm asking, and I'm just creating ammunition for.
Yeah.
Another how did you miss that?
Yeah, how did you miss that? But yeah, Robin Williams. I mean, Good Morning Vietnam. That's a classic to us. I don't know if you've seen that one, Tim, but it's a good one.
Yep.
He's got so many other ones.
Yeah.
But Neil Perry is played by Robert Sean Leonard. Now, have you seen House, Tim?
House.
Like the TV show House?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's from that show.
Oh, okay.
Like Neil, the guy that dies.
Right.
And I'm like,
yeah.
this guy, I thought he was great as a teenager.
Yeah.
And like, I'm not saying his character is boring in House, but comparatively, it's like a lot less energy. And I was like,
Yeah, he's still a fun character, but not as good.
He's also in Falling Skies and Much Ado About Nothing.
Nice.
Which I think that's supposed to be a big one.
Yeah, that was like a play.
Oh, and one other plug for them actually using teenagers. Their voices were squeaking.
Oh, yeah!
Yeah.
I was feeling it. I was like, that's something I don't...
Squeak right there.
That's something I don't miss. But Todd Anderson, he's played by Ethan Hawke.
Oh!
Not Matt Dillon, not Josh Brolin, Ethan Hawke.
Huh. All right.
He's in The Good Lord Bird, a new movie or TV show coming out here soon, or did come out recently.
Okay.
He's in the new Tesla movie,
Oh, okay.
like about Nikolai Tesla, not Elon Musk.
Mm-hmm.
He's in Before Sunrise, Before Sunset, and Before Midnight. And he's Jesse in all of them.
So I thought I knew who he was, but I guess I don't.
Yeah.
You
same.
don't.
Yeah.
And
His
then
name sounded familiar, but no.
he's in Training Day as well
Okay.
Oh, okay.
with Denzel Washington,
Mhm.
right? And then Knox Overstreet is played by Josh Charles. Guy has two first names. Tim might actually know him. He's in SWAT.
Yeah.
He's a detective. I think he's a detective in Four Brothers. He's also in the movie Away and the TV show The Good Wife. He's a main recurring character.
Yeah.
Charlie Dalton is played by Gail Henson, and it's like he's been in 11 things total. Which is funny because I really liked him. Like he was probably one of my favorite like acting characters.
I liked him too.
But he was in Prodigal Son and then Found Her. Like Found Her, but Found Her. It's one word. But he ended up being a studio executive.
Oh, nice.
So like he's still in the movie business. He's just not acting.
Interesting.
Yeah. Richard Cameron is played by Dylan Cussman. He's in Jack Reacher, Leatherheads, Richard Jewell, and The Mule.
Nice.
None of those he's the main person. Gerard Pitts, Mr. Pitts himself, is played by James Watterson, which really sounds like the guy's name from Monsters, Inc.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He is a Watterson, actually, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, I think
But-
so.
He is in a show called Red Oaks and then Flesh and Bone.
Nice. I think the Monsters Inc. guy is Water News, but you know.
Yeah, I was close.
Yeah, you were.
Stephen Minks is played by Alilon Ruggiero. He's in 12 Monkeys.
Oh,
He's just one of the background impatients.
nice.
He's in Fallen and then Thinner. Also not much. Mr. Perry, really known as Kurtwood Smith, is from That 70s Show. Oh, that's where he's from. No, yeah, everybody. Red Foreman, his signature line, dumbass. He's in Broken Arrow, RoboCop.
Oh,
He's like in the OG RoboCop.
nice.
Didn't realize that. And then he's also in 24. Then Mr. Nolan, the headmaster. I think he was. He at least presented himself
Seemed like
like the
it, yeah.
headmaster.
Yeah.
He's played by Norman Lloyd, and I was like, I think we have our first official like actor that actually is an actor. Oldest acting person that we've had. At 106 years old. He's still kicking it today.
Dang.
Yeah. He was in Trainwreck, like the Trainwreck movie that was popular.
Yeah.
I don't know, he wasn't much, but he's in Saint Elsewhere and Spellbound. I've not heard of these movies, but I was just like,
I've heard of Spellbound.
Nice.
but he's also like, he apparently does a few of the Birds guy. What's the movie? Who did Birds?
Hitchcock?
Yeah, he does like Alfred Hitchcock show at one point.
Oh.
He was one of the narrators.
Okay. Cool.
Which, real quick, I wanted to bring this up. I don't know how Knox at one point drove through a bunch of geese and survived.
They didn't like go
You're asking
ham
for
on him.
something if
Yeah.
you're going on geese.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
I know.
Yeah.
The director of this film was Peter Weir.
Okay.
And you're like, I've never heard of him. He's done nothing. And you're like, well, he did The Way Back. Not the basketball one. There was one earlier called The Way Back. And then I'm like, he also did Master and Commander.
Oh, okay.
People liked that.
Yeah.
And he also did The Truman Show.
I like how Sam said people like that. Because it assumed she did not.
People liked that. People being her brother.
That got
And
praise.
my dad.
Yeah.
No, like that was one of my brother and my dad's favorite movies. So that was one of those movies that was like on in my house that I refused to watch.
That was The Last Samurai.
Yes. So people liked that.
People liked that. Except I liked that. I turned it on once and then I fell asleep in it. I'm gonna be honest.
It's long, isn't
It
it?
is a
3
long
hours or
one,
something.
yeah.
Yeah. But it's a journey.
It's a
I'm just
journey
kidding,
of
I
a
don't know if
movie.
it
It is, from my understanding. I bet I'd love it right now.
Yeah, you're more likely to sit down for a long movie.
Yeah.
I might bitch about it a little bit, depending on the day. It depends on the day for me. Like, some movies that I see that are 3 hours, I'm like, fuck that shit. No. And then some days I'm like, I'm ready. Bring it.
Give it to me. But anywho, he did The Truman Show, which is good.
That's a really good one for me. And I'd be shocked if Tim said he hadn't seen that. Good. You're a Jim Carrey fan.
Yeah.
I was hoping you'd
Yeah.
see it.
It's been a while. I've been thinking about rewatching it.
Yeah, we've actually been to the location of the filming location
Yes.
of that one.
It's in Seaside, Florida.
Yeah.
You can stop by Truman's house and see the
That's
town.
cool.
Yeah, they have like all the landmarks from it. It's
Yeah,
really
they
funny.
still have like
That's really
the
cool.
signs up from the set.
Yep.
Dope.
Interesting.
But this movie won an Oscar for Best Writing.
Nice.
I was pretty happy to see that.
I mean, yeah, that makes sense.
I agree.
Yeah. So the tagline for this film, he was their inspiration. He made their lives extraordinary.
Aww.
Seize the day.
Aww.
Originally, in this movie, Mr. Keating was supposed to die of leukemia.
No, we
They
couldn't
would
handle
not
that.
have had a time for that in that movie. That would have completely changed the movie. And
Right.
B, I don't know. Yeah, no, I wouldn't be able to handle that.
I know.
That'd be rough.
Well, the reason, so the director's like, no, we don't want that to happen. They switched it to make sure it was focused on the boys
Okay.
Good, yeah.
rather than Mr. Keating. Like,
That makes
I was-
sense.
Oh my god, either one. No.
I know. Originally, in the script, Cameron was actually supposed to stand up and do the "Oh Captain, My Captain" with the rest of the boys. In the actor, the teenage boy actor, the boy, he was like, I think that doesn't fit my character.
Yeah.
Look at him.
And
Yeah.
the director's like, you know what? Yeah, you're right. And he's just like, what?
Dope.
I'm right? So he was really excited about that as a kid.
Yeah.
I
apparently.
mean, it would have been odd.
Yeah, it doesn't fit the character.
Yeah.
I fully agree with it.
Well, and I do love.
He finked.
Yeah, well, and I do love that scene how like half of them are still sitting down, like covering their heads, like I don't want to get in trouble for this.
Right.
Yeah.
Because like that's totally believable.
Yeah.
It is. And then, as my last note, originally there was a different director signed on, and they had a different Mr. Keating.
Oh.
Interesting.
Yeah. I don't know if I would have liked this movie half as much, even.
Okay.
I mean, do we know who would it maybe would have been?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm building up to it. I'm going to just say that if you ever kidnap his daughter, he will find you.
Oh.
He will kill you.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. Liam Neeson, I mean,
Think of him as a particularly warm person.
wasn't he a teacher, though? Like, in the past, he was a teacher until he punched somebody and he got
I have no
kicked
idea.
out of teaching.
I have no
Oh,
idea.
I have no idea.
I thought I read that story where he, like, punched somebody at a bar and then he wasn't allowed to teach anymore or something.
No
Maybe.
idea.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure he was a teacher.
I just
I know
don't-
that Hugh Jackman was a gym teacher.
He
Nice.
was,
It's
yeah.
hilarious.
I mean, I think he has a nice voice, but that's it. Like, I wouldn't see him as like a warm, like, loving
Yeah.
ball of squish that the character
I don't think
needs
he.
to be.
I don't think he would have played it like Robin Williams. Like he said, he wanted a teacher like that. I don't think
Yeah.
that same inspiration would have been behind the character,
Right.
but we don't know.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I was like, I don't think I would have liked it half as much as I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The budget for this film was $16.4 million.
Nice.
The box office was $235.9 million.
Wow.
It decimated it.
That's crazy.
I know. That's why it's like, oh, how did you miss that? Because, like, clearly it did really well, but like Tim said, it's not a movie people are like, How have you
Right,
not?
yeah.
Like, it doesn't come up in normal conversation. If it somehow comes up, it's like, how did you miss that?
Yeah.
Anywho, let's get to the critics. They rated this movie an 84%.
Nice.
Audience rated it a 92%.
Nice.
IMDb, 8.1 out of 10. And then Google with a 94%.
Look at Google.
We passed.
Yeah.
We passed, yay.
I can start this time. I would flip it on clearly.
Yeah.
What? No.
I know.
How
I
dare!
I really liked it when I was 5 years younger or so. And I wanted to see it again because, like, you know, it's just like an emotional journey.
It
Yeah.
is.
Like, Interstellar was an emotional journey as well. Like, this, not the same movie at all, but, like, you still, like, you're in it and you're just absorbed into the story.
And you get emotional.
Right.
Yeah,
You
I get
just
vibes.
torn
I was
up,
gonna-
yeah.
I was going to compare it to Interstellar,
Were
too.
you really?
Yeah, earlier.
That's funny. So, Sam, would you flip it on?
Yes, I would flip it on. I love this movie. And even though I thought I was emotionally prepared, I wasn't to do it again. But no, it's like where Robin Williams is at his best, right? And I think the kids really sell it. Like, it's just so, like...
Yeah, they do such a good job. Like,
it's so good.
yeah.
But
So,
Tim?
the guy who missed it until today or yesterday.
Yeah,
Would you flip it on?
for sure. I'd say flip it on. I think it's a great movie. I don't know what else to really say about it.
That hasn't been already said.
Yeah, I think I have to plug in there. You know, if people are feeling depressed or whatever, or there's always people out there to help. Even if you're in a rough situation or a situation you feel like isn't great. I don't know. I just feel like I have to plug that in there. There's always helplines, people out there. The random person can always be helpful.
Reach out to us.
Yeah, you never know who would help you in a situation. So I think the movie's great. There's a lot around Robin Williams, you know, suicide and stuff. And then this kid, obviously, suicide in the movie. But otherwise, I think it's a fantastic movie. Yeah. Flip it on.
Well spoken.
Yeah. I feel like
Sam's getting all teary-eyed.
I know. Like,
But anyway, on a much lighter note, if you like Robin Williams at his finest, flip it on. If you want to watch a journey into, not manhood, but to extraordinary times, flip it on. If you want a Carpe Diem.
If you want a lot of inspirational quotes, flip it
Yes.
on. It's very inspiring.
If you're a Fink, do not flip it on, though.
Yeah. We don't need you getting any ideas.
Yeah.
Carrying on to next week, unless you guys have any other notes.
Nope.
We can go ahead and spin it to win it.
Who's picking?
Sam, you're picking. Oh my gosh.
No.
In a shocking turn of events, you're after me like you've always been.
I knew you were going to roast me for that.
We're 40-something episodes in. She'd think she'd learn. But here we go. I'm spinning it. I'm curious what we got. We got some new ones in there because another one just fell off. And, hey, we got one that we haven't had in a while. Before Their Time.
Oh, okay.
So we got some cult classics coming at you, which I was going to say this was a cult classic, but, like,
I don't think so.
it
don't
did
think it
so well in the
was.
box office that
Yeah.
I don't think it is.
Yeah.
But,
All
well,
right.
thanks for joining, and yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Captain, my
Oh,
captain.
Captain, my captain.